So this is my prediction video for Elimination Chamber 2025, which is happening tomorrow at 5:30 a.m. for us Indians. And let's immediately go into the predictions. Let's start with the first match, which is Trishi and Tiffy time versus Naya and Candice. I think it's pretty clear that Tiffany and Trish are gonna win, and especially this this SmackDown when I heard Trish Stratus say that her kids are going to see her wrestle for the first time. I think then all my confusion went away and I was like, they're gonna win it hands down. The only way they can lose is maybe Charlotte is there and maybe Tiffy gets distracted and Naya pins her, because Naya and Tiffany are going to face each other eventually for the Women's World Championship. Like, last time they faced each other, Candice caused a disqualification, but they're probably going to face each other, in the upcoming weeks. Also, one thing is there that maybe Trish is around for till WrestleMania 2. Maybe you get something to do with Naya there, but I don't see that happening. I think this is probably a one-time appearance. They thoroughly, oh, we are going to Canada. We let's have a Canadian there, so it can help us sell tickets. Tiffy is a Trish Stratus is a legend also. In my opinion, I would have rather had the Tiffany and Nia Jax match here, but I guess they're probably pushing it further because they may not have plans about how to book Tiffy and Charlotte in just promo segments for like a month and a half. But let's see. But I think it's going to be Tiffy and Trishi time winning against Naya and Candice. That's pretty clear. One thing is that this is a pretty mid card. Like WWE pay-per-view cards are generally like fine. They're never like you'll see that and be like great. It's a very great card. But this, like looking at the card, like only four matches, bruh. Only four matches. Why could you not have shifted the Shinsuke LA Knight match to the Elimination Chamber card? Or either why couldn't you have like the number one contenders match which happened on this SmackDown, Fatu, LA Knight, and Carmelo to the Elimination Chamber card? Like a show which goes on for like 4 hours, more than 4 hours, and having only like five matches, and this time only four matches, and a big ass Rock Cody segment. Like, this is very low. Let's go to the second thing, which is a segment, which is the Rock and Cody segment. Will Cody sell his soul to the Rock? First of all, if someone who doesn't watch wrestling just sees that headline, like if we get out of this kayfabe world, like is a entertainment company really selling their pay-per-view as one of the things that happening on the show is a person, if they are going to sell their literal soul to someone or not. Like it's not like is Cody going to align with the Rock. It's like sell. They're using the sell his soul to the Rock or not. I think this is going to be a long ass segment with the Rock, yapping, you know, just rambling after a while. I think there are gonna be, some teasers, will Cody do it? Will Cody not do it? But Cody won't do it. And he should, because it doesn't make sense for him to do it. Like he is a face right now. Like his heel turn has to be more related to, him slowly, losing himself, you know because of the title, and he's in the process of that. He's not reached that point where he's ready to burst out and become a heel. He's on the way there. So it won't make sense even character wise for Cody to suddenly turn heel, because the point was brought up in the Kevin Owens feud that he's slowly losing himself and what he did to Kevin Owens. But that's uh, like a start of a downward spiral, not the end of where he's like his reign as a face is over. The thing is, I hope we get something good, because people have already predicted what's going to happen with this segment, and this segment is going to go for a long time because it's essentially taking the place of a fifth match. A fifth match which usually goes for, at least 15 minutes at least. So I hope they bring something innovative like they did on this episode of SmackDown. Let's see what happens there. Maybe some people from the past show up. Maybe the people interrupt and be like, Cody, don't take this deal. Maybe people come there and be like, Cody, take this deal and all. So let's see what happens. But my prediction is that Cody will not sell his soul to The Rock. Then probably the match that I think is going to be the match of the night, which is Kevin Owens versus Sami Zayn in an unsanctioned match. I would have probably liked this feud to go into WrestleMania because it feels like this 1 month which they have interacted with each other through like video promos and through vignettes and all. This could have been like a long build up to their eventual WrestleMania match. It's not been a bad feud. It's just that Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn have kind of been like two pillars of WWE's main event scene, and pillars in sense that they are involved in so many important story beats. Like sometimes they are the catalysts of change. Sometimes they get changed by those stories which has a profound effect on the rest of the roster, and then that culminating in like a 1 month feud to lead to a Kevin Owens versus Randy Orton match is that I'm not like others that who's gonna be like they're gonna have a bad match, Randy and Kevin. It's like I get why they're doing that because if you see from a year's perspective, Kevin and Randy have been in cahoots since like their feud with Logan Paul before WrestleMania, and it has been a running trope. Kevin Owens, Cody, and Randy's friendship, especially Kevin and Randy's friendship, going against Logan Paul, going against the Bloodline, and eventually ending with KO pile driving Randy Orton. So, and especially Randy Orton has been out for a while, like 5 6 months. He has been out. Like he got pile drived before Saturday night's main event. So, like what I see is that I just hope there is blood in this match. If not blood, it is given time because you have two elimination chamber matches. You don't have a fifth match, so I hope they give this match the time it deserves and they let them go to the distance. Like they don't like shackle them like usually WWE does. I hope they give them the freedom, like go have like an ROH style match and just let them go, let them give their everything in the ring. I earlier thought that it would have been simple, Randy returns, he costs Kevin the match and Sammy wins. But then I watched Ross's review and he kind of made sense because he said that KO kind of needs the win because he was in like a 6 month feud with Cody where he lost every time. And then it's not like and then the more important point, they're already telling a story with Sami Zayn that when it has mattered the most, or he has lost in the past year, like he lost his Intercontinental Championship to Braun Breaker, he lost the 2 out of 3 falls match to him. He he was in the bloodline stuff, but apart from that, he lost to Gunther as well. He got eliminated at the Royal Rumble because he was trying to help the bloodline. Then he also, lost, lost a lot essentially. Like he lost to Drew McIntyre a lot, and he has been losing his important matches, and Karen Cross has been encouraging him that take to the dark side, which he didn't, and he lost at the Rumble. Or he is kind of like Sami Zayn, you're not accepting and everything. Maybe Karen Cross finally gets involved, or maybe Karen Cross doesn't get involved because Sammy is saying that he's gonna go, he's not going to have any limit against Kevin Owens. But Sami Zayn's humanity is something which is like very integral to his character. That is what helps him get up after every loss, but that is also what causes him every major loss as well. So I think Sammy kind of hesitating in the end, leading to KO, getting a clean victory over Sammy. And then after the match, you can have Randy Orton attack Kevin Owens. And, after that on Raw, Karen Cross can be like in Sami Zayn's face and all. And Sami Zayn, maybe you have it for weeks, like Ross said. And Sami finally like attacks Karen and they have like their match at Mania, and eventually the rest of the year Sammy's journey to becoming a frustrated heel happens, and that happens. So I think that is probably the better option, because the thing is, you kind of need, like, Kevin Owens needs that win, like him becoming this heel character and then getting like no major wins, like just dampens his character more. Like we know that Randy is gonna win at WrestleMania. It makes sense for him to win. Why not make KO into a monster? Like he needs some comeuppance, because he, like, not for me personally, I wouldn't mind if Kevin lost because of Randy, but for like the majority of the people, like he got bloodied at Royal Rumble. Like Cody beat his ass. So he kind of needs that win over Sammy. Like this kind of grunty Kevin, like who actually has now blood in his mouth, like he has got the taste of blood in his mouth, him going against Randy Orton, who has been involved with him for like the past 11 months or something, like that is a great feud for WrestleMania. So I'll probably say my prediction is Kevin Owens is going to win. Another prediction is probably Kevin Owens tries to end Sami Zayn after the match with a package pile rival, but then Randy returns and he attacks Kevin Owens. Then we go into the semi-main event, which is the women's elimination chamber, which has Alexa Bliss, Roxanne Perez, Bianca Belair, Naomi, Bailey. I think I have said everyone's name right, and Liv Morgan. So this is probably the match which is like the most hard to predict, though in a way it isn't, because of the reports that have come out like in the past month that to do uh, they're planning to do Rhea versus Rhea versus Bianca at WrestleMania. So probably Bianca wins, because the thing is, I don't think if Jade comes back, they are going to do a triple threat feud between Bianca, Jade, and Naomi. Jade probably, another prediction, Jade is going to come back, and because of her, I think Naomi is going to lose in that match, and probably that leads to a Naomi and Jade feud. I think Bianca wins because they're planning to do that match, and I suggest a better idea, like do a Rhea versus Becky versus Io match. Probably the three best women wrestlers you have got in the company, like them going into WrestleMania for the women's championship. Like if anyone loses in the match, I don't think they really lose anything, because it's a triple threat match, and Rhea can retain her title, and maybe then you can do like a proper singles match between Rhea and Bianca Belair at SummerSlam, which can probably main event like night one of SummerSlam, because like Bianca, Cardi B is going to be there. She's going to be like the host, I think. And Bianca is involved with her, and she's involved in the advertisements also. So probably women are going to get one main event there. So a Rhea Ripley versus Bianca Belair SummerSlam main event works. And from the triple threat, you can actually like build a story. Like maybe Rhea gets the win over Bianca, but it's kind of like, because Bianca and Io are so involved with each other, Rhea gets the win. Like I wouldn't have mind even Bailey winning. Like Io and Bailey have history, Rhea and Bailey don't, and it is a fresh matchup. But then it kind of like you're looking at like a secondary arrangement to make sure that it is a good enough match to be on Mania. But then if Rhea pins Bailey, Bailey doesn't lose anything because she's so giving, and Rhea gets a win. And I think Rhea, Bianca, and Io will be much better, like stature wise also, but story wise also, it will be much better, leading into the rest of the year after that. So my prediction is probably Bianca Belair is winning. Though I would have liked Io to be in the match and have like a straight Rhea versus Io match, but they're doing that on Raw after Elimination Chamber. And I would like that Bianca Belair probably gets involved and maybe Rhea wins, but you know it is kind of like due to Bianca's fault that Io loses, or maybe like the match happens but there's no result because Bianca gets involved, and then it results into a triple threat match at Mania. I think that's what's probably, and Bailey is probably getting the pin over Roxanne because Roxanne got the pin over Bailey on SmackDown, which I think should have been a bigger deal. Like the commentator should have sold it as a bigger deal. I get the crowd didn't do it because Roxanne is not that known to the main roster crowd, but this should have been a much bigger moment. Like if Bailey would have won the Elimination Chamber, like I would have probably had then Bailey and Roxanne go being the final two, and then Bailey beating Roxanne there, like giving Roxanne that big push. But then let's see what happens, further down the line. So that's a prediction for the women's elimination chamber match that Bianca wins. Then the men's elimination chamber match, which is probably like the most that the people are divided about. That if anyone wins, like there's going to be a section that's going to be disappointed. But I think there are two winners. That if even if one section is disappointed, they'll not be there. Like they'll not be the ones with like pitchforks in their hands and we like we're gonna burn WWE down. Oh, I hate WWE. It won't be that. So the men's elimination chamber match, the winner faces the undisputed WWE champion Cody Rhodes in the main event of WrestleMania 41, one of the nights. It is Logan Paul versus Damian Priest versus Seth Rollins versus Drew McIntyre versus CM Punk versus John Cena. And probably like one of the best builds to an elimination chamber match I have ever seen. Like for the past 2 years, like elimination chamber has actually meant has had big stakes. Like we've had champions defending their titles, but it has felt like they have to do this pay per view to get to WrestleMania. Not like if it is like very important on its own. It has never felt that to me personally. But for the past 2 years, it has felt like Elimination Chamber on its own is a very important pay per view. Like things happen here which leads to WrestleMania. Like we need to tune into this pay per view rather than this just being like a February March pay per view, which we just have to get through to get to WrestleMania. What I predict is one thing: Logan is gonna pin one of the big ones. Like he either pins like he's gonna pin one of CM Punk, John Cena, or Seth Rollins. Like that's gonna happen. Like probably one of CM Punk or John Cena, but he's probably gonna pin one of those three. I am saying Seth Rollins' name because I don't want him to pin CM Punk and John Cena, but he's probably gonna pin one of both. Second thing I predict is Roman Reigns is going to interfere in this match. And he's probably going to cost Seth Rollins, and maybe he'll cost Seth Rollins and CM Punk both. And I think it will be really great if he costs like Seth Rollins and CM Punk both. Drew can maybe get a pin over CM Punk, and he did lose his feud against CM Punk, but he can always boast that I like last year I ended CM Punk's WrestleMania dream once again when I pinned him, and this can also add to Drew McIntyre's heel character, which is like his whole like gimmick since coming back is that he hates the bloodline and Roman Reigns, even though he still took his help to eliminate his other rival. And I think Damien, like, is Damien going to eliminate some? I think Damien is probably going to eliminate Drew. Like, a lot of matches were set, like, were teased for WrestleMania, like Drew Damien, like Drew and John Cena, because, Drew has been paying attention to John a lot. Like, he interrupted his promo package. When John Cena's music hit, like, Drew climbed out of the apron, like, climbed down from the apron. Also, he has been posting his videos on social media, also, like, he wants to confront him. But then Drew and Damien also had like they were like directly involved with each other a lot more than others in this segment. So Drew Damien, I think maybe Damien eliminates Drew. That happens. I think it will be like really fun if like CM Punk and John Cena are the last two, but it can be really fun also if CM Punk and John Cena are the first. One thing is going to happen is Logan Paul is probably going to be the last person in the chamber to come out of the pods, or maybe like the last time we saw they take Logan Paul out of the pods and then he's in the match anyways. But one thing that I predict right now, like people are saying like maybe Drew wins because The Rock is doing his whole sell your soul to become champion, and Drew kind of makes sense because he's already a heel, and Rock has kind of promoted Drew before also like on social media and all, and it is kind of like the easy way out because it is kind of like the most logical way, like Cody the babyface refuses. Drew is a person who has been kind of getting in his own way. The story that they have been building for like months now, like Drew in his like career has always got in his own way. Like he lost his world championship because of his obsession with CM Punk. He couldn't let go. Even other times, because of that, throughout the year he got screwed by CM Punk. He lost to Seth Rollins because he was too full of himself. He lost to Jey Uso at the Raw Netflix premiere because he got in his own way. Same thing, he lost to Jimmy Uso because he got in his own way. He got eliminated at the Royal Rumble because he got in his own way. So in a way, Drew, it can be like an evolution of Drew. Like this time, finally, he doesn't let his so-called, moral compass get in his own way, and he, gives himself up, gives himself to the final boss, and wins the chamber, and goes on to face Cody Rhodes. Like that's kind of like the most, like you can say, the safe, logical way. You can have CM Punk selling out because CM Punk has kind of said that he's like the way he said Dwayne, like Hollywood part-time candy ass and everything. But then it can be like one of the biggest swerves that CM Punk, the man who has been denied by The Rock many main events, he is too obsessed with the idea of main eventing, which you have kind of seen for like the past 1 month or two, that he goes against everything that he has said and he sells his soul to The Rock. John Cena selling his soul to The Rock doesn't make sense because it is his last year, and character wise, it kind of does because he just announced himself for the chamber, and all the Hollywood stuff. He went to Hollywood, part timer, and everything. But I don't think anyone wants to see that because it is his last year, and what does he even give? He's not his 100%. Like when was the last time he had like a good match? He has been getting squashed for years now, so I don't think it is a pretty like big thing for us that John Cena turning heel. But apart from that, like these are the two guys, like Drew and CM Punk are the two guys that I see. If the Rock storyline is going to be like the main overarching stuff to in the Cody match, then only these two can win. But I don't know, like John Cena does feel like he's going for the 17, so it feels like the normal thing to do. And The Rock has been involved with Cena, so he can be like the devil on the shoulder, like I previously said, and be like, I have faced Cena before, I have defeated him, I have lost to him also. Like he's Hollywood and everything. Maybe that can happen too. But I don't know, like things have been teased between John Cena and Logan Paul too, upon him and Drew too, and I personally don't want him to win because retirement tour, and he has not showed up for a while, and I think it will be better if it's, I hope it's CM Punk, but I'm gonna predict that it's going to be John Cena. Nah, CM Punk is not winning. Drew winning. Yeah, it's going to be Cena. I think they're going to take the safe way out. Like they probably would have, seen the reaction on Royal Rumble, and they're probably gonna want like the most number of casuals, looking into watching WrestleMania, and no better way to have them than, Cody versus John Cena for the 17th world title. People were also saying maybe Cena wins, but CM Punk still sells his soul, to The Rock in the later weeks and gets himself inserted into the match. That can be pretty awesome too. And a Cody John Cena CM Punk triple threat, like sign me up. I'll be ready for that. But my prediction is John Cena is gonna win the chamber. So those are my predictions for the Elimination Chamber 2025, which is happening tomorrow. So if you like this type of content, like, share, and subscribe, and please, you know, lay out your predictions in the comment section below. And if you don't like this type of content, then share it with those who do. My social media links, which are my Twitter and Instagram links, are in the description, so go follow me on that. My UPI ID link, which is shabboy@okicici, is in the description also. So donate any amount of money which you can, so that it can help me make YouTube a permanent career option. So that was it for me for today. So thank you, goodbye, alvida.